Welcome to Backstabbers, the only podcast where we're not just sticking needles in your back, we're talking behind it too.
All right, coming live and together.
What a treat.
We had to work through some echo issues. We'll see if this makes it to people.
Well, and I'm going to warn you, this is not my new hot, sexy voice. I'm recovering from the flu. I don't have it anymore.
Okay.
But this will last.
She's taking
for
up
2
smoking.
weeks. This is God's gift to the world.
I do feel like you lose your voice more than just about anybody I know.
It is amazing. With a sniffle. I'm telling you, it's God's gift to the world. You're welcome. Just to death. Well, I think he probably likes it for like a week. And then he's like, this is annoying. I can't hear you.
Speaking of annoying, how mad is he going to be that you have a new cup? Because they get real mad when we bring home new cups.
See, I'm the one who gets mad about more cups, so I'm the one who's in there pitching up.
I love me a new cup. Like, it's exciting when I drink out of a new one.
Oh, we need a word. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
We need a word of the week.
Okay.
So, word of the week, your challenge to put into your spiel. What's it going to be?
Collywobbles.
What
I don't
does
even know
that
what a
even mean?
collywobble is.
Upset stomach or queasiness.
You got the
Hey,
case
you
of the
could-
collywobbles?
Listen. If your blood pressure starts to drop and you got a case of the collywobbles, you call me.
I know.
I'll fix
I do say cattywampus a lot. That's what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, that's the fifth one. Cattywampus. Kerfluffle.
See what it is.
We could use bamboozle. That's off of Friends.
I like bamboozle.
Bamboozle's a good one.
I could get on board with bamboozle.
Bumbershoot.
No.
You listen when that baby starts to feel like it's going to come out your bumbershoot. Don't call me, okay?
You called him.
You tell them. Okay, I want bumbershoot for when I come back.
Bumbershoot.
I'm gonna start work. Actually, I'm just gonna start working that in.
Just in general. Okay. So, word of the week, final answer. What's it going to be? For the listeners. Oh, and we should say, we're going to do a weekly challenge where you have to tell us how you used it. Give us your good story. And we'll pick. Let's not get it wrong twisted. And we have like middle school boy humor here. So
we do.
That's a leg up, okay? So if you're listening, we're just going to pick the winner, the one that we like. There's no real formula to it.
No real reason.
And we'll give some merch to our weekly winner of the
Yay!
word challenge, okay? So participate. Comment. You have to put it on our socials so that we can know to find it.
Oh, you're shooting fireworks?
She is always just shooting the powers.
I feel like fireworks is the word.
Oh, is it?
Okay.
I think fireworks. I mean, it's a sign.
It's
I've
a
already
sign.
did it.
I've already got 8 ways to use it right now.
All right. So in your spiel, the weekly word, fireworks.
Fireworks.
Okay.
I like
All
it.
right.
When you feel like fireworks are coming out of your hoo-ha,
Yeah.
out of your bamboozle.
Exactly. You're going to bumfuzzle it out.
Before you collywobble.
You just, I mean, it's endless. And they are all so out of it, they don't even care.
They don't care. No. So whatever your spiel is, whatever it is you give, whether it's anesthesia or not, fireworks is the word of the week.
Okay.
What do we think?
Yes, I like it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Go, people. Go. That just made me think of epidurals.
Yeah.
So I did a CME thing yesterday, and they asked if anybody, have y'all ever heard of if somebody was exhibiting some wet tap symptoms like headache or nausea or whatever, and they had the epidural in place, or if you wet tap them and then place the epidural, there was something about going ahead and injecting 20 cc's of blood into your epidural catheter before you take it out.
Oh.
Yep. I've actually done it. Can you still hear me? Yeah.
Have you really?
Mm-hmm. When I was a student,
Okay.
one of our former anesthesiologists, I'm not trying not to give anything away, that was a method we did on a wet tap. We left it in for 24 hours because there's been some research that helps.
Yeah.
Kind of helps scar it in. And so we left it for 24 hours and then went back and drew some blood sterilely. I want to say we even, this has been a long time ago. This has been like 10 plus years ago. So don't quote me on this.
So wait, did y'all use this epidural?
We did use the epidural,
Okay.
but we didn't use it as an intrathecal. So like we didn't thread the wet tap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We moved a spot,
Yes.
did
Okay.
a new epidural,
Okay.
left that for 24 hours. Oh, I'm giving thumbs up. Left that for 24 hours. And then the next day went, and I think we untaped and undid the alligator clamp, cut, chloroprepped, cut, I can't remember, and put a brand new sterile alligator clamp on, drew blood, gave through there, pulled the catheter.
Did it work that you know of?
As far as I know, I don't think we had to do anything else to him.
The guy that gave the lecture was like, they don't recommend it because there's not any evidence of it right now. Like there's just no research on it. But I was fascinated. I was like, it seems like it'd be really hard to push.
So I want to say, it's been so long. The thing that one of the partners was not happy about was they were worried about sterility and using.
So that was my second question. So because if we go up and the alligator clamp has become undone,
which was the original provider's reasoning,
right?
You're okay with us chloroprepping
this? It's the same,
but yeah.
And that was the thing, because I was like, I mean, that's, to me, if your alligator clip's undone, it's unsterile, and you just pull the whole thing and have to start over. That's what I've done in the past. But so, is it okay? I would be interested to read some research on that. Is it okay to cut it lower, chloroprep it? I mean, because if you think about it, which you're chloroprepping people's vac in order to do it anyways. I don't know. I'd be interested to see the research on that. But
yeah, it'd be interesting to know the infection.
Yes.
Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, an epidural is invasive, and nothing ever comes without risk. Okay, so let's start there. But unless it was a really difficult epidural to place, I think you just err on the side of caution
and just
do another one.
That's what it's never
because
worth the risk to me.
Infection in your spine is really bad.
Yes.
Like that's not
Right.
anything I want to
inflict on somebody.
And that's why I tell my patients, I'm like, listen, if your hair drops down, if I'm in the dead center of this and we're almost there, I will rip the whole thing down.
Oh, I make them put it in ponytails.
Oh, yeah.
Just because I'm like, I always like, if I know it's annoying and I know you're hurting, but it is not worth an infection, and I am super anal about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Agreed.
Completely.
If there is question, if I brush something, always, because I mean, I just try to put myself in that person's shoes, and that's what I would hope somebody would do for me.
Yeah.
But so I thought that was interesting. And then they were talking about stories and stuff, and have your patients gotten relief? And since I personally have had a wet tap, I mean, mine was instant, like after I got my blood patch. And I feel like the majority of which we don't do very many, but at where we work, but the majority of the ones that I've seen are so wishy-washy on whether they feel
even
better,
if it's
or
wet
even
tap
if it's
to begin
real.
with. Yeah.
Or if it was a wet tap, because they were also asking the percentage of people that come in with a PDPH headache was pretty high that did not have any signs or symptoms of a wet tap from the provider.
Yeah, I mean, the literature says you can have an unrecognized dural puncture somewhere in there.
Right.
I think when you've seen a wet tap and you've seen all that fluid come out, it's hard to think that that's possible. But literature says it, so I guess it's true. But because I mean, there's no denying, if you get a wet tap, that fluid is shooting back at you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I think pregnant people are crazy. We just said this.
Yes. Well, and
that's you're so suggestive. Like I think if you just start mentioning that you could get a headache, then it's in there. And you're thinking, well, plus also we're not letting you eat right. We're not letting you drink right. You've been in weird positions.
Dehydrated.
You haven't had your caffeine.
Lost some blood probably.
You might have had it before we ever put that thing in.
Which that's what I asked him, because we actually really like SPG blocks where we were. Me personally, if I had that option when I had mine, I would have probably tried it first because it's less invasive. Anytime you decrease that risk, then why wouldn't you try it first? And I do think it gets them over the hump to where it starts to heal itself. But
because eventually it will seal off and
it will.
Itself.
Right.
It may take a week or so, but it will. The big thing is staying on your back. I mean, even a blood patch, if you're up and real active, I mean, I've had some come back a couple of days later.
Who need another one.
Patch.
Yeah. And that's what they were also talking about, like how many, and which I'd said I've never done a second blood patch after they've come back.
I have.
But they were talking about that. But the guy that did it, he's done anesthesia for a gazillion years and is now a professor and all that stuff. But he always gave them IV caffeine.
Mhm.
They did a abdominal binder in hopes to help create that pressure
Close,
to help
yeah.
seal it.
That's a really good idea.
Fluids.
I don't know that we do abdominal binders.
We do not.
We don't.
So I thought I was going to mention that. I thought maybe we should trial that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I don't think they push caffeine on ours
No.
like they should.
They're like, oh, they offered me a Coke.
No,
Yeah.
I'm like, this isn't.
That
This
wouldn't
isn't
do
Coke
me-
caffeine. This is
no.
you need
Like
the extra
caffeine
strength.
tablet type.
Yeah.
The caffeine, and don't quote me, but I'm almost positive it was between 200 and 900 milligrams.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So I think we also think, oh, I'll give you one energy drink and you're good. And that's not the
Not even
Yeah.
equivalent. Yeah. But it was it was just a nice refresh on that. There's some things that we probably should try before, but they don't. And also, like, I think it depends on how severe they are. Like me personally, I was completely non-functioning. I was like vomiting and couldn't hold my baby. Now there's some people that are like, I think I have a headache.
As they're sitting up
Well, and
holding their
that's the
baby.
The
Yeah.
ones that can't tell a big difference between lying down and sitting up, I'm going to give you an SPG.
Yes.
Yeah. Agreed.
Because it should be drastically different from flat to sitting up.
That's what I think too. I mean, and a lot of times, I mean, now sometimes we have students and all the things that do wet taps, but a lot of times if somebody got wet tapped, it was because something wasn't quite right or they were difficult epidural.
Right.
So there's always that.
Yeah, it's not necessarily someone you want to just stick a needle
Yeah.
in.
Right.
And I mean, our doctoral project was on SPG blocks.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You're
Yes.
kind of what started it.
So
for us
I'm
at our
like,
site.
I'm all about it. But like, so we didn't end up getting to use all of our information, but out of the 60 that we got before we got cut off from that part, 59 had success with the SPG blocks after their post-dural puncture headache. And it got them over that hump to where it started healing themselves.
Okay. Which
And
tell people what that is.
oh, okay. So it's a sphenopalatine ganglion block. So if you ever heard of it, ENTs do it, but they actually use a needle and inject back in your posterior. You go in through your nose.
Yeah, ours isn't that fancy.
No, so we just use Q-tips. It's actually very tolerable. I've never had somebody not be able to
I
tolerate
agree.
it.
People think it sounds usually the headache's so bad they don't care, and
Yes.
no one's ever cared.
No.
We're shoving these Q-tips in their nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you numb their nose up and then you put these Q-tips down and you drip some lidocaine down there and it just soaks back in there. They don't really know specifically why it does a reset on why it helps for your headaches.
That's awesome.
And so
How long does it last for?
that also varies. I think, so the ones in the ENT office last a lot longer because
Sure.
they use
Actually.
stronger, longer acting local. But I mean, really, I would say 24 hours probably.
I would say we probably average 24. I've redone an SPG once for a post-dural headache.
Yeah. I mean,
She got really good relief and came back a couple of days later and she was like, it's so much better, but I still have a little bit of a headache. Can we do that just one more time?
Awesome.
And that's all she needed.
I mean, and the patients, it doesn't take long. They don't have to lay there for an
Okay,
hour
right. You don't have to
after.
do
Right.
anything.
Yeah. You don't have to be quite as careful when you're doing stuff late. I mean, of course
Yeah.
you need to because you've got that. But anyways, I'm curious if anybody out there, CRNA wise, has done quite a few SPG blocks and if you're a fan or if you're not.
Yeah. I feel like we used to do a lot more, and we've had some changing of staff. And I feel like we don't do them as much now, which I think is a disservice because I think most people have given the option, and a real option, not you can have this one or this one, but I like this one.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a real option, tell them the pros and cons of each one. I
Well,
think
it's a game.
big hunk of people would try the
I was
non-invasive,
gonna say it's just so
high
much.
success rate.
Yeah.
And for one thing, you don't have to sit up.
Right.
If you're hurting that bad when you're sitting up, you don't want to sit up and do another epidural.
Right.
Well, and especially I think it's a good option for those patients that are terrified of needles
doing
because
it.
we get so many young ones.
Mhm.
And those unrecognized wet
Yes.
taps.
Yes.
Those
Agreed.
that are so questionable because we didn't see it and your headache doesn't really fit the bill. Those are the perfect ones.
Absolutely.
We can up our caffeine. We can do these SPG blocks.
Yeah.
We can do the abdominal binder. That's a really
I think the
good.
abdominal binder's genius.
I mean, it makes sense.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm like freezing. I am such a cold hoe. This one.
Oh, that was a horrible.
Don't
That
do
was a
that.
horrible-
Don't do that. Put your hair back up. Are you prepping for 100th day of school
We
tomorrow?
could do a whole episode of just outtakes of Sarah. Because for whatever reason, I turn the camera on and get it recording, and it has a countdown line now. And it's like...
It's like a new day every time.
Oh.
Keep it. That's amazing.
Sarah, Sarah, just rock the phone.
We know you have hair.
Okay, while we work on Sarah's hair, I have a question. Since we've kind of done an epidurals part 2,
Yeah.
kind of turned into that accidentally. Do you allow dads to stand, or support partners, don't have to be a dad? Do you allow the person staying in the room for an epidural to stand up?
No, I don't let them stand.
I don't even let them stand until I leave the room. Like
Oh.
the epidural's done and they start trying to get up. I'm like, no, back
Not
down.
yet. Sit down.
Back down.
Oh,
I trusted no standing then. And it's always the ones like all tattooed up
who,
and look
yeah.
real buff and strong.
and if
fall
they
over like
ever
that.
tell you that they gut deer, they are the ones that will pass out every time. I gut deer all the time. Every person that's ever told me they got a deer just.
That's never been voluntarily.
I was going to say,
told.
what kind of questions are you doing for your
No,
epidural?
because when I say, they're like, oh, blood, that stuff doesn't bother me. I gut deer all, and then bam, C-sections,
Yeah.
bam.
I've had 2 or 3 fall, and now I'm like, it's no longer you, it's me. No one stands in my presence.
I had one recently that turned white, and I was like, yeah, you're gonna have to look away. And yeah.
I've even gotten to where I put them to work. I make them sit in the rolly chair in front of the patient,
So they can't. Yeah.
and so they can't see anything, because I hate it when they start trying to like
Look.
get all up in my business. I'm like,
Yeah,
this
this
is
whole-
sterile. You go on that side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need you over here. I don't need you breathing down my neck. You don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Thank
I
you.
did have one try to secretly videotape me. I'm like,
I've had that once. That did not go over well.
why?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I did make a patient one time. She was being a real hateful heifer, and was like yelling at the nurses, and was just like, there's been all these issues with her already. And she got to give an attitude, and my inner mama just came out. And I was like, no. Before I continue, I'm going to need a yes, ma'am, that you're going to sit there and behave and be nice. And she was nice to me. She gave me a yes, ma'am.
And she said,
And it
yes,
was
ma'am.
good. She did. She said, yes, ma'am. I mean, anyway. I said it, and I was like, ooh, I might get in trouble for that one. But I did not. And, but then as soon as it was done, she started being snarky again and like yelling at the OB nurses. And I was like, oh, no, we're not going to do that. I will take this out.
We'll take this. I'll take this right back out.
I will take
Don't
this
you
out.
think I
You
will?
went
Put
full
it in, take it back out.
mom
You're
mode.
not going to act like that to our staff. You're not going to be. No.
Mm-mm. It's just not necessary.
It's not necessary, but sometimes the mama voice is necessary.
Sometimes it just comes out.
Yeah.
And I don't even mean for it to. It just, I will mama anybody.
I've
I'm
done
an
it too.
equal opportunist.
I had a young girl once, and I also said something. I was like, I'm gonna get in trouble for this after I said it. I was like, babies are big girl things. We're gonna act like a big girl.
Yeah.
You're gonna sit still like a big girl, and then we're gonna have a baby like a big girl. And after I got done, I was like,
Ooh.
But her mom was standing there, and she was like,
Yeah. What she said. Listen to her.
But that was after the girl had bitten her mother. Her mother had a bite wound.
No. Mm-mm.
And I was
No.
like,
Uh-uh.
you could hear her screaming at her down the hall. And I was like, no. We're not doing this.
No.
So that's when mama voices have to come out. And amazingly enough, most
They usually respond.
They
They
can hold
respond
still.
well.
They can do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
after the mama voice comes out.
I will say that's where my one little hint of what we talked about with the boys and being like, you can do this natural. That is the one time. If they're being
Well, it's a safety
completely
thing.
inappropriate and
Yes.
I can't trust them to keep this,
Yeah,
you don't get to keep it.
No.
I agree. But that's totally, that's a safety concern at that point. If you can't sit still and if you can't keep things in place where it's supposed to be, I'm not
Just-
risking.
No. And the hatefulness, like we're not there to be pinatas for people.
No.
And I didn't know if y'all noticed, we put this is the young couch. And we put it's her back. That
She
chair is
needed the-
better
yeah.
for her support. She needed her blanket and her own chair.
You heifers.
It's just with age, we're just like,
I know now why I got stuck over here. I kept trying to go over there. They're like, no, you get over there.
we just, we respect our elders.
Listen,
Well, see, I'm afraid I'm gonna break something over
Listen,
here.
though.
So there's that.
you and I are way closer in age than anyone is to Alex.
I don't recall that, but I just know that I'm younger.
It's okay.
But
Speaking
by
of,
10 months.
what? I'm throwing this name out because I've been pretty impressed so far. Frownies.
Oh. Mhm.
Okay. So we're gonna see. Now I'm not doing Frownies. If you've heard of them, they're the little cast you basically put on your forehead so you don't have to get Botox, because I'm too lazy and too cheap to get Botox. But my 11 lines are
They are
Anticipating.
looking better. I agree.
Right
I-
before
yeah.
our eyes.
so I will let you know. I'm only on day 6, but I feel like there's hope.
Here's the thing. Sarah, you're going to regret this conversation. Although I love that you're plugging it for our listeners. But you sent us a picture of yourself
She is not
looking real
allowed to
sexy
use
one
that.
night. And I feel like it would be a disservice if I did not
Didn't
show these
show.
people what the frownies looked like. I mean, it's educational.
And we're doing some heatless curls too, it looks like. So.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Her husband's real lucky. She was rolled up in bed with socks in her hair and frownies all over her face. I can't wait to now that I know how, this will be on the episode.
We'll leak the
Listen.
photo.
listen, the uglier you go to bed, the more beautiful you wake up. I'm waiting for that beautiful part. But that's what I keep telling him. He's like, the things you come to bed with sometimes.
I'm telling you what, though. Can we just name drop? Because they're
Oh, yeah.
advertised everywhere. The Lola blankets,
Oh, Lola blankets.
worth every penny.
Worth
I mean, I
everything.
do want one.
Yes, Alex and I love the Lola blankets.
Oh,
I've
obsessed.
had one in a cart forever, like online shopping, because that's my trick. I leave it there for a little while, and if I'm still wanting it after several days, I'm like, okay, you've earned it.
It's a good.
You've waited more than 5 minutes, and you're gonna go get it. So, but I asked Alex, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I've got like 4."
And she does.
I will say though, I was ready to pay full price, which was what was holding me back. And she's like, "Oh no, girl, there's
They
codes
do
all the time."
Yes, I think 55% off is the best one.
Which is how they got me on the second one, because I got the first one around the holidays, and I think I got it for like 45%.
Probably,
off,
yeah.
Which, I mean, saving money. And then
Frugal.
At this point, they're giving
it's
it
basically
away.
free.
It's 2 for 1, is what it turns out
Well,
to
so
be.
then it was like, hey, thank you for your business. Here's 50 or 55%.
I'm telling you,
So-
Johnny, that's why I escalated so quickly. It's my kids, my husband. I'm
Yes.
like, Jesus, this is mommy's blanket. This green one is mommy's.
They are the first ones to
To
try to
snatch
snuggle with your
it away
blanket.
from you.
Always.
Oh, I know.
But I'm cold. Well, you got mad at me when I bought this
That's right.
blanket.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You go
Well,
freeze over there.
Yeah.
We just had our anniversary, and so that's what Aaron got. We didn't buy each other anything, but I got him a blanket mainly so he
His and
would
her
still
Lola
in my
blankets.
blanket.
I think that's a win.
I feel like I might need to purchase one the next time, but
He would die if he knew how much it was. We're just
Well,
like,
I was about to say Devin
Details.
would have a
Nobody needs to know those details.
Say it
$20.
again.
Everything's $20. What?
Everything's $20.
Yeah.
Except for my cups, they're all $5.
I struggle with because I have like the husband
She does.
price,
She
the
has
real
no idea
price,
ever.
and somewhere
Is
just
the
because
reality-
I'm really-
Literally, anytime I
I'm
ask her,
really
she's
frustrated.
like, I can't remember if I told this to Aaron or if this is the real
Yeah,
price.
don't ask me. 'cause
It's
I don't
somewhere
know.
in the middle. Always.
It's
and
not that
I
I'm
just don't
necessarily
ask.
trying to lie, but I'm a round downer. So if
me
something
too.
is like say $289, I will
$200.
say it's $200.
I'm the same. Same.
And Aaron's like, you realize it's closer to
Yeah.
300.
I'm not a round
No,
downer.
but-
I am a round downer.
I'm the same when I'm buying things.
Yeah, we just realized actually that we were still paying for my eldest to go to the gym that he does not go to
No. Well,
anymore.
a money saver.
Yeah,
Look at us saving money left and
just left and right.
Just so free.
Alex, you were giving me a lot of this. Let's do a nail check. What you got going on?
Oh, let me
feel
just
like you're
show
witness
you
here.
guys. I felt so.
Closer. Give yourself props.
Get
They look
it
good.
up. Send that to Anesthesia God right away.
Yes.
Hold on. Don't be jealous.
You're just trying to be like me this week.
She does at least have clean edges.
Always.
Oh, okay.
That's because I know this is surprising, but I'm OCD about my cuticles.
Oh, Lacey, show your nails. Do you have your
Mine are still the podcast ones.
Are they not the
cute?
cutest? Anesthesia God.
Yeah, we need to send that one solo.
We did get a message from the anesthesia god.
We did. He wants. Wait, I keep saying he, and we don't know.
They are welcome anytime.
Come talk.
Even if you still don't want your identity like
Oh, yeah.
sold, you
I
could
was
just do a
thinking about
voice.
that. I'm pretty sure we could do, like you were FaceTiming somebody with your emoji person.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that could be, and we could even like alter the voice.
That would be really
Yes.
funny.
Because you're everybody's favorite.
You are.
Literally. when they responded to a message, we were like, made it.
I mean, I was so excited. I was so excited.
Just the acknowledgement.
Who else would be a dream guest? Because that's clearly one.
Spine doc.
I don't know that one, but I've heard you talk about him.
Yes, she's a neurosurgeon.
okay.
I think my aunt follows that one on social media too.
She does case studies, and then she has really cool shoes, cars. I really like her.
Nice.
She's a girl boss.
A girl that I really enjoy following is Sarah Wild.
Yes,
Yeah.
Wild.
And-
CRNA.
She's a CRNA and she started her own practice. She works in the hospital. She built a beautiful house. I watched
She got
that whole
kids.
journey. Yeah, her kids are
Rocks
very
that.
close to my ages,
Mhm.
except for her third was a girl.
That's
It's
okay.
It's okay. I love
Hindo's
my
going to be your little
I was saying,
bestie.
Hindo's prettier than most girls, so
Yes.
he's
Yes.
gorgeous. So my top two would be for
Oh, balloons
I don't do
this time.
Just to know what I'm doing.
I don't know.
It wasn't
And I feel
this,
like
just
y'all
so you
never
know.
throw me.
This wasn't
I
it.
don't know if it's because I sign in as the host in this.
Oh.
I don't know. Anyway,
I knew there were balloons in there, by the way.
You knew it.
I knew there were balloons.
You knew it. Okay. So my top two, and I don't know which order it would be. I don't know what I'm
It's a
doing.
party, that's why. Who?
Party in a
Reveal.
pants.
Reveal.
Olivia, who does the makeup.
Yes.
Because I
Oh,
love her. She's so stinking funny, and would love for her to like try to teach us how to do makeup. I think that would
that'd be
be
so fun.
I do. I
hysterical.
need a lesson.
My other one would be, and this is probably a little controversial, but I loved her. The girl from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that was the CRNA.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
Oh,
and
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
okay.
it.
Anyone who's friends with Kyle Richards, I'm here for it. I need to know more details. I want to feel as connected to my trashy shows as possible. And
Perfect.
she's our in.
I just
Okay.
got caught up on that.
And I think she got a bad rap.
She did, but it was made to be focused on that. But she got a bad rap.
So I don't think any of them act well enough for it to be scripted. I don't think it's scripted by any means. I do think there's bad edits, and I think they're definitely liquored up and
a little poked.
Been in the ears
Yes.
by the producers of Susie Joe said this about you.
Mm.
Go talk about it at dinner.
But have a couple shots first.
And I think that probably, especially as a new cast member, you're probably given some topics that are like your things to really. And because she was medical, she was really, on a certain topics that did not go over well. But I'd still love to meet her.
I would too.
Hands down, she's a boss.
I need to watch.
I can't with you.
It's
Okay, Alex, you said you had a special story for us at the end of the show.
it's just a little funny. It's one you could go to sleep with if you would like. I was putting the boys down to bed, and I will disclaim Easton and Hawkins, they share a room, and actually furthermore they share a queen size bed right now, which I mean they're gonna grow out of it.
They won't
and
always want to sleep together.
I know.
Enjoy it while they
and
That's
it's
actually really
precious. It is.
Mhm.
It's really anyway. We were doing our prayers and laying there, and Hawk goes, "Can you look in my ear?" And I was like, "Well, sure. I'm a picker. I love to pick things. I love to clean things out." Anyway, he goes, "Yeah, I have some earwax." And I was like, "Earwax?" He's like, "Yeah, because it's just one. I just have one in there."
Oh,
It's
that's
the
so
singular.
It's the sweetest.
I
And he was
upset
just
too.
dead serious. And Easton, he's 7, and he knows. And so he started laughing like Johnny and I were laughing. And then poor Hawkins got so embarrassed. And then Easton, to this day, he's like, "Remember earwax?"
That could be his new nickname. He'll love it.
That's
Earwax.
precious. And I love that we're just going to tell the world about it.
It's
Poor
just-
kid.
I know.
He's so cute, though. Anything he says is cute.
It's so,
It's so cute.
and it's just, it makes sense.
It does.
Have y'all arranged a marriage yet out of your children? Since you're so close in age.
We'll let her choose. I've
Yeah.
got options. I'll got all
That's
age.
what I was gonna ask, because she can go older or
She
or
really-
slightly younger.
It's all of it.
I feel like her and Hawk, I wouldn't trust them alone together
Yeah.
in
would
any
be-
situation.
It would be a marriage. I don't know. Questionable what would happen on any given day.
Pretty volatile, I think, and hilarious. There are ones we could actually like.
Reality show.
Yes,
Absolutely.
but Easton would just make sure she was taken care of,
Yes.
And
And then she could take care of Indo,
yeah, that one's a
which she loves to do already.
know.
So, I mean,
she's
really,
got options.
All right. Jesus wants y'all to be quiet. Bye, y'all.
Be quiet.
Bye.